So I cover a lot of different EDC gear on this channel, and we do it in a variety of different ways, but I don't always cover what I'm personally carrying in my pockets every day. That's what we're going to talk about today. I have not done an EDC update in a while, and this is mine for October 2025. So almost everyone has a core everyday carry, which I usually define in basically 3 items: your keys, your wallet, and your phone. In some cases, people have all of those things integrated to their phone. I'm not quite at that point. Mostly, I do need keys, and I have 6 on my Keyport Pivot 2.0. I have a deep carry pocket clip. This one is also a belt clip if I want to attach it that way. I also have a pocket flare, which is a modular attachment to the system, which has 3 different modes and is my primary flashlight. It's what I use most of the time. I also have a mini champ. I used to carry a Rambler, but I just was trying the mini champ, and I don't really notice a difference, so I may as well have the extra components to go along with it, and the backup pen, which is always a really nice thing to have. I have my car keys with a little Glow Rhino tritium key fob. This makes it much easier to find in the dark. So I do really like this setup, and I don't plan on changing it anytime soon. So in addition to my keys, I have my wallet, and I'm really excited to say this is a brand new variation of my own design. So I worked in collaboration with Lockbee to make a product called the Sidekick. People really liked it, but there were a few suggestions, so I have version 2.0. So I've been carrying this pretty much for the last 6 months. This one and then the blue variation, all of them now have yellow interiors. I slightly adjusted the size of the pockets to make them a little bit more secure. We added a little tab underneath so that you can attach things to it. You can also create a closure with some shock cord if you want to. And it's RFID blocking. So those are the big major changes. I love that, and it still is less than $30. Love this wallet. Hey, it's my design. I better love it, right? In addition, I am trying out the Lightrite, which is a zebra pen that has a little flashlight built into it. And what I found is there's times when I just want to make a quick note, but I don't want to set up or turn on the lights or anything like that. And this just seems to work super well. I'm really enjoying it. I also have a 3D printed utility knife. This is my own design. You can find the files for this on my website under free stuff, under articles. I really like this. It works really well with the 4-position Lennox blades, so you can get like a little bit more reach if you want to. You just lift this and slide underneath like so. You can find these files, you can print them, you can sell them. I don't care. I go over that in the article. But it is available for you if you want, and it's kind of designed to fit right in that spot. I keep some 3x3 sticky notes in here because it integrates well with my larger notebook setup without having to rewrite everything. I kind of just trimmed it a little bit to make it fit a little bit better. They did work, but they just kissed up to this pen a little bit too snugly when I went to close it. So I kind of just trimmed a little bit off. But yeah, they work really well. That's my wallet setup and my core everyday carry. Now, truth be told, and I've said this many times, and people are still shocked about it, considering how much I talk about folding knives, I don't carry them very often. I really don't. I usually prefer to have a multi-tool over a folding knife, because what is a multi-tool? A folding knife with benefits. And I prefer it. I don't mind the extra weight, and I like having the bonus features. But that being said, there are some that I carry for joy, and there are some that I carry for testing because that's part of my job. And the one I'm testing right now that I can't get enough of is this. This is a $30 knife from a company called Miguron. It is PVD coated D2 blade, aluminum handles with milled steel liners, flush set screws. I'm still in shock that this thing could actually be $30. I had this on order when I made my recent video, I think it was last week, about knives under 30. This would have easily ranked at #1. Like, that's how good this freaking knife is. It's absurd how good this knife is. The PVD coating makes it look like it's plain stainless, but it's actually not. Such a clean shape design. Love this thing. But beyond testing, I do carry folding knives from time to time because I enjoy them or because they complement whatever else I'm carrying. So the first one, and probably One of my favorite designs ever is the Solstice. This is from Akaso Knives, S35VN, titanium frame, and so enjoyable. This was designed by Andrew Demko, all right? Not his normal shtick, but man, did he knock it out of the park on the design part of this. What I find myself using this for, because it's almost a 4-inch blade, is tasks where I have to reach really far into something, but also I can hold it kind of like a pen. So it works a bit like a craft blade, but it's actually a folding knife. And it's, believe it or not, this is actually small enough, if I wanted to, it actually fits inside, this is so funny, it actually fits inside my wallet if I want to. I can actually carry it that way. Isn't that fun? Just a small little side note, but I thought that was super cool. I just tried it one time and I was like, oh, that's neat. If I wanted to put my knife inside my organizer, I could. I love the Solstice, love it. I carry it a ton, I use it a ton. It's a great steak knife if you want to use it for food, no issues whatsoever. The added blade length keeps everything away from the pivot. Super awesome. Okay, so what about these other two knives? I'm gonna start with this one. This is a kind of a new acquisition. This is the Ryzen from We Knife, and in collaboration with one of my favorite people in the world, Sam, AKA Raven the Pirate on Instagram. Oh my goodness, did he knock this thing out of the park. He thinks he made it for him. That's what's funny about it. He thinks he made this knife for himself, but he really made it for me. Thanks, Sam, I really appreciate that. Because it's got a beautiful hollow ground blade, hand satin finish. Oh, so nice. It comes razor sharp out of the box. It's on washers, which I do prefer. It's got great handle texture on this little area right here. Really beautiful milling. It's got a really comfortable clip that doesn't stick into my hand. And the shape, oh, the shape of the handle is just so incredibly nice. I can't say enough. Of all the knives that We Knife Co. has made, this is my favorite. There is no question. It is a fantastic knife. It is not a knife that you buy to do hard use all the time with. It's a knife you buy because you love knives and you collect them and you want something badass that looks good. This is amazing. In feel, in shape, in use, every part of it. I love it so incredibly much. Well done. Gotta say, Sam, you knocked it out of the park. And it seems very common, these reviewers, whether it's... Anyway, we'll have to make a video on it separately, but it seems like the first knife these guys are coming out with, every one of these like influencers that decides to make a knife, they're spending the time they need to actually make it exactly what they want. And this is another example. It's just another great example. Anyway, fantastic. Now, the last one is a bit unique. This is the Tirant Ultra. I haven't reviewed it yet, but spoiler alert, it's awesome. Okay, so this is a utility knife that's a premium utility knife, right? I'm kind of at that stage where I'm willing to kind of splurge a little bit and try some things that are more premium, but I still want to be able to do some hard work with it. And this is a great tool. So if I want to just go to town and actually really be rough with a blade, you know, ding up, damage the edge, I'd rather it be a utility knife. This way I get to carry something that's both nice and functional. And what's cool about this is not only does it have an option to get blade holders that hold utility knife blades, you can actually remove the entire mechanism and you can swap it out. Where is that blade? Code it. Sorry, here it is. You can swap it out with D2 blades that are available for purchase. Now, this is something really cool. I worked out something with them. They will be giving you 2 free blades if you use the code MAXBLADES before you go to checkout. So you use that in the promo code in your cart and you can actually get 2 free blades. What you'll do is you'll get a stone-washed drop point like this one, and you'll also get a Wharncliffe blade shape. You don't have to add them to your cart. Just go ahead and enter the code and you will get that included with your purchase. So really, really, really nice. I think the thing that is the most remarkable to me, literally 0 blade play. How does that even possible? Considering how many different points there could be play, there is none. it's just wild. It's just wild. So these are sub 3-inch blades when you are measuring from tip to frame, and they work really well. But mostly what I do is I set it up with the utility knife blade. I like that a little bit better, and just rock solid. The fact that the thumb stud is also a resting place for your hand, the jimping is so good, not just there, but on the back. I'm super happy with the Tirant Ultra. I think he knocked it completely out of the park with the design. It's certainly not cheap, okay? So the base price for the regular model is like $160, and it just keeps going up from there. You can get skiff bearings, you can get back spacers, you can get different anodizations. I mean, the customization level is incredible. But people love it, and I happen to be one of them. I fully admit it's a little silly. You don't need to spend this much to get a good utility knife. I have, you know, tons I've recommended in the past, but hey, here we are. This is what I'm actually carrying it, and I am enjoying it, so I'm talking about it now. Now, speaking of enjoying things, I wanted to have a quick shout out to Silver Fox Tools. They are currently on Kickstarter with their utility knife, and I did carry it for a few days. And I think this is a knife that's pretty much kind of designed for true makers out there. It's crazy comfortable in hand, and I don't feel like hesitant to being very rough with it, like to really bear down. And it is big enough for me to get my full hand around. It reminds me of kind of the traditional Stanley, but in a slimmed out, sleek package, right? It has that beautiful look, and I love the leather slip that it comes with. So great job. I really like the design. It's not something I'm going to carry on a regular basis, but maybe you would, or maybe you have someone that you know that might appreciate it. So if you're considering it, I just wanted to let you know that it is available on Kickstarter right now. This is a company that's already made a ton of products. It's more of a pre-order than a Kickstarter, but regardless, I just want to make you aware of it. So congrats on them getting to their goal, and hope they can find a lot more interest as well. Now, when it comes to flashlights, as you saw, I'm usually using just the pocket flare on my keys. But from time to time, I will carry a dedicated flashlight, and I also always have one in my bag. And the one that I keep on me, I actually have 3 of them. One's in the car, one's in my backpack that I go back and forth between the office and home, and the other one is by my nightstand, and that is the SK05 Pro from Loop Gear. The reason this is the one that I have in so many different places is it's not only a very powerful flashlight that's waterproof, it's also a very, very large power bank, so 8,000 milliamp hours with the 2 batteries that are included with it. And because they are so easy to swap, so you unlock it there, click that, knock these out, I can bay charge a bunch of 18650s, and instead of having to recharge my power bank, all I have to do is swap them. So it's a very quick process, and this thing seems to charge very quickly. Like, it charges my cell phone very fast when I plug them in. So if I set them in my pocket, like my jacket pocket, I have the cable between them, by the time I go from one point to another, I've gotten 50 or 60% of my battery back, and it's just such a useful thing to have. If they didn't have the power bank, I wouldn't recommend it at all because it's just too expensive. But because it has that feature, and because it charges so quickly, and because it's quickly accessible in the back, it's definitely something I would recommend, even though it is quite expensive. I think this Mal version with the cool finish, that's pretty expensive. It's like $150, but you can get them on discount. So just wait for there to have a sale if you're planning on getting one, and then get it at that point. Okay, just keep an eye on it. I do really like it though. Now the other 2 I actually keep in my pocket. I think everyone should have an option that is good that uses a standard AA. My favorite being the Acebeam TAC AA 2.0. This thing is 900 lumen max, but has over 31,000 candle power. So it's a true tactical flashlight as long as you have it set up in mode 5 or 6. And it has 6 different modes that you can select. It has a great reversible pocket clip. It can tail stand. It comes with diffusers. It comes with a cable. You can use standard AA's if you want to. It's just a phenomenal pocket flashlight. However, if it's not required to have battery versatility, I think the E80 is probably my favorite. at the moment. There's one other flashlight that I can't show you because it's not available yet, that I am carrying, but the E80 is probably the best all around because it's kind of a Swiss Army knife approach to flashlights. So you have a quick access to turbo in case of emergencies. You have a single press to get moonlight, which is also useful. Double press will give you the various other modes. You have a side light with different high CRI outputs, which I really, really like. You also have red light and UV on the side. You have UV on the bottom, and you even have a laser to go along with everything that it has. Like it just has a absurd amount of versatility, and it's waterproof. I think IP67, which is as good as I could possibly want. So I really like the E80. I think it's a fantastic unit. It's kind of also expensive, but at least you're getting a lot for your money when it comes to the E80. I feel like they've packed so many features into it. It makes sense to me. These are my two most carried, with the Acebeam kind of following it up. You could also take a look at the H16, which is kind of a headlamp style, and it's the same sort of benefits as this, only it's focusing on a floodier beam that has high CRI. So love all of these, can't recommend them enough. I do use them from time to time when I'm not just relying on the pocket flare. So there you go. Now, I got my first multi-tool in 1999, like the Leatherman Wave. I never really understood the need to carry a folding knife because I thought the multi-tools did a better job. So I still kind of feel that way. And so I carry a multi-tool instead of a folding knife on a regular basis. And these are the four that get carried the most. Well, starting with the one I carried the least, we have the Wave Alpha. I got this last Friday. I've been carrying it ever since. I can tell you right now, when I have my kind of follow-up video this Friday, I don't plan on carrying it anymore. There's a number of reasons why I'm not going to go into right now. Let's just say it was more disappointing than I initially expected. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it, but not recommended. $200, no clip, lots of issues. Moving on. So the other ones I've actually carried quite a bit. So this is my modified Leatherman Arc. Could use a little TLC, maybe a little bit of rust prevention, but I do carry it. I really enjoy it. I have it modified with a standard 1/4 inch driver that also has a 4mm driver on the back. No, I don't know where you can currently buy it. If I can find a link, I will put it down in the description. I also have it with the stick-on kind of scales. These are fantastic. They've held up incredibly well, I have to say, even though, they go in and out of my pocket all the time. I'm pretty rough with it. No issues, no peeling, nothing. Love it. Awesome. I'll put a link to those. And I also have underneath the scissors on this, which is really cool. Shout out to, I'll put the link to their website, but this is a small ferro rod that sits underneath and kind of magnetizes to the frame. Very, very neat. They also have a pen option and a ceramic hone, I believe. So very, very cool add-on and highly recommended. Requires no modifications for your Leatherman Free Series tool. All right. I don't recommend you buy one of these though, or the Wave Alpha. None of them come with accessories anymore. When they first reviewed this in my older videos, the context was $230 with a bit kit with a sheath. Now there's no sheath, no bit kit, and the price went up 20 bucks. The value prospect is completely out the window. So you're buying it because you want everything that it has. I couldn't just recommend these like off the cuff anymore. It's just not a high value. But these other two, man, these other two are so good. All right, starting with the MX Clip. I've talked about this. This is my most recommendable multi-tool right now. It doesn't require any accessories. You don't need anything else. It has a one-handed blade. It does have a tab that's a little bit annoying. It kind of gets in the way, but not too bad. But the fact that I have a one-handed locking blade is awesome. Your hands never get in the path of the cutting edge. You have a great set of tools on here. It's super compact and easy. It's super comfortable while using the pliers, which I really enjoy. And it always comes like stupidly smooth out of the box. Can't recommend enough, one and done. But the Roxxon is still irreplaceable. It's not perfect, and in a home context, I almost always prefer to have dedicated tools like this. But where the Roxxon comes in is travel. I've been traveling a lot lately, and this is the only multi-tool I've been able to successfully carry on a plane through security without any issues whatsoever. So 9 trips at this point. They've inspected it every single time and only had one major, minor hiccup, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So the way I set this up now is I have the full 1/4" bit driver with a long bit on it. I also have, on that same side, I have a comb, which comes in handy, so I don't have to bring that. And I also have, on the opposite side, a T-shank holder for saw blades, but without it being loaded, which is very important. 2 keys. Now, these are the blanks, but I have them set up for my house keys so that I don't have to carry my keys with me on my trip, and then I keep the small double-sided diamond file. So this has 2 different grits of diamond, and then, of course, we have the pliers on the inside that are spring-loaded. You get the idea. I keep the scissor and the can opener in a small little plastic holder inside my bag. They're technically legal, but if there's an issue, they're already separated, so there's no issue with taking the actual tool. The one time I had an issue, I had the scissor in place of the comb, and the woman who was asking is like, well, you can't have a scissor. Well, obviously you can have a scissor. They say you can. It doesn't. Anyway, the point is, she wanted the tool. So I said, okay, let me take the scissor out. You can have the scissor. And she goes, okay. So she hands it back to me. I take the scissor out. I give it to her because this whole thing is modular. Let me just show you. I didn't even demonstrate that if you've never seen it before. So you go like that, you pull that all the way out, and then boom, there you go. Take the tool out, right? That's basically what I did with the scissor. And she took one look at the scissor, looked at me, and decided, you know what? I'm not gonna hassle this guy. So she's like, here, why don't you have it back? Not a big deal. Like she thought she's doing me a favor, right? Anyway, she wasn't gonna get the whole thing, so she figured she may as well give it back because nothing she could do with that small little scissor. Pretty funny, I'd say. But that was the only hiccup. Every other person, every other TSA agent that looked carefully at the tool and I displayed the whole thing, no issues. So what I do is I lay it out in the tray with all the tools splayed out so that the TSA agents can inspect it, go through security, not a problem. Not a problem at all. And because it can do that, I cannot recommend it enough. The only other modular tool that might be able to do this is the GOAT tool, but you have to start out spending $120, whereas this one, you can just build it with the tools you want by buying the frame and then buying the rest. And if I'm being honest, I kind of prefer the various different tools and everything on this. And the mechanism, I like it better anyway. So, regardless, the Flex, amazing. Love it, specifically for travel. It's been awesome. It just has I have very low stress carrying it because I know any part of it can be replaced easily. The frame can be replaced for 40. The implements are all less than 10, not a big problem. And I just, yeah, really appreciate having that as an option. Let's move on to last couple categories. Next, let's talk about EDC fixed blades. One of the other reasons I don't carry a folding knife is if I can, I almost always would rather carry a fixed blade over a folding knife. Like, it does strictly more. And I like the way they feel in hand. I like the confidence they give me. And in some cases, I like the blade shape. Anyway, the point is, love me some EDC fixed blades. And the ones I've been carrying the most are from SCHWARZ. And I will tell you, this stuff is awesome. So this is the OVERLAND X, which is this one right here. I also have the OVERLAND Sport, which is this small one. And I thought I was gonna definitely like the X more. I thought there's no way I'm not gonna like this the best, but I was finding myself carrying the small one a lot more than I thought. And it is so good. Like, oh my goodness. I thought I was gonna have a definitive, this one's better than the other, but that's not actually what happened. They are definitely distinctly different knives. They do different things better than each other. I do think that if you're going to use this for kind of what the shape was intended, AKA like a pocket chef's knife, this is definitely the better of the two because of the size. And wow, I mean, just loving carrying these so much. He did such a good job with the geometry on these. Look at how much sharpening you have access to with this knife. Now at 6364 MagnaCut, the amount of times you're gonna have to sharpen this knife in their entire lifespan is actually really, really few. And this could be this is an heirloom quality knife, right? This is a knife you could pass down and pass down and pass down and pass down because it's gonna last that long. It really, really is. Between the coating on this, which is a PVD coating, and MagnaCut's natural resistance to corrosion and its toughness and its edge retention, these are phenomenal one and done pocket knives. The sheath, check this out. Fantastic. Like the actual tension is dialed to perfection. Wow, it might even be slightly better on the small one, but oh, love that. It comes with an ulti-clip. Look at all those positions to actually attach various different things, 1/2 inch spacing, so it's gonna work with nearly every clip out there. It doesn't matter whether you're going with these or the discrete carry concepts clips, they're gonna work really well. I might even decide to buy a in-pocket leather sheath to allow it to kind of go into about maybe that far so that it sits deeper in my pocket, specifically with the Sport X. That's how much I like this knife. I can highly recommend it. I don't think everyone is ready to take the leap to a $250 to $300 knife. But if you're there, if you're looking for the next thing to try, I can highly recommend. Oh, I can super highly recommend. These are some of the best I have ever experienced. Easily the top 5. When we cover fixed blade knives in the near future for everyday carry, we were definitely going to mention it again. So check out these knives on TJ SCHWARZ website. I'll put a link down below. Cannot recommend enough. Seeing all that gear, you might not have a clear idea of how I carry everything. And I figured maybe we have a small section describing how. So obviously I'm going to carry my wallet, right? I usually keep this in my front left pocket. And then I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put that in my pocket. And then I'm also going to take my keys and I'm going to put it in the front left pocket corner. So these are going to dangle inside the pocket next to the wallet plus my keys. And then what I will keep in my right pocket is either going to be a multi-tool or a fixed blade. And because I have a mag pocket, which is slightly positioned behind the normal right side pocket, I will occasionally carry both. Now I usually don't. I'll usually stick with just a multi-tool, but every once in a while I'll just skip the multi-tool entirely because I'm in the office and I have plenty around me. I don't really need it. And then I'll just carry the fixed blade instead. That's how I usually do things. And if I'm not carrying either of these, if maybe during the day I want to mess around, I'm carrying a folding knife, I'm going somewhere and I want to carry a nice folding knife, whatever, I will do those instead of the multi-tool. There's times when I will also holster carry the multi-tool with a flashlight on my left side and carry a folding knife or fixed blade. It's all preference. I mix and match. It depends on where I'm going, what I'm doing. That's kind of how I work things. I pride myself on being prepared to offer assistance, not prepared for danger, prepared to be of use. That's what I value greatly, and it's why I carry so much with me. My family knows that I'm the guy that likely has the solution, and I take a lot of pride in that, and that's why I carry so much every single day. So that's it. That's my EDC update for October 2025. What have you guys been carrying? What's your favorite stuff right now? I would love to know. Even though I tend to lean right now into some expensive offerings, I have a large passion for budget gear as well. And I find as much joy sometimes in carrying those items as I do carrying the expensive stuff. So don't feel like you have to in any way try to match or compete with anyone. Carry what you enjoy, carry what makes sense to you. That's pretty much it. As always, thank you for your time, and we'll talk again soon.